Okay, Arch, I want to talk with you about the issues you see in living in Ecuador and living in Vilcabamba.
Well, in Vilcabamba, I think the biggest issue for me is that there's a serial rapist for 10 years. Widely identified, widely known to residents, locals, the police, the mayor. Never been prosecuted. This man only rapes foreign women, mid-20s to mid-30s, who are passing through.
Tourists?
Tourists. He knows they won't come back. He knows the cops won't take a complaint. Some of these women have gone all the way to Loja to make their complaint, but they don't come back to prosecute. And he's very careful not to rape women who are going to be here permanently.
Yeah.
Prosecution. That would be my number one gripe.
He has a hotel here, right?
Beg your pardon?
He has a hotel here? This guy, the rapist.
Oh, yes. He's either a whole or part owner in a resort.
Called Las Ruinas de Quinara.
I'm not going to name the resort. I can simply say it's a resort very popular with backpackers.
Yeah.
Attracts young, attractive backpackers who are passing through. The technique he's said to use is horse tranquilizers to knock them out. My second gripe would be the police. They don't even want to take complaints for rape and robbery, violent crime. They have to go all the way to Loja. And when I had my complaint, it took 4 trips to the police station. And the only reason they filed the complaint is because Vilcabamba TV showed up. So they filed a complaint after 4 visits. The third would be a very disgusting habit that locals have of urinating in public. I mean, you know, sometimes the public bathroom is across the street and guys just whip it out and do it right there in the street. I've never seen a woman do that. My second part of that is spitting in the street. Men and women spitting in the street.
Locals. But then you see
Locals.
foreigners.
No foreigners so far.
Yeah, well, I've seen one foreigner doing it now.
Well, yeah, I saw one. I was having lunch with one at La Teresa. And he turns like this and spits while we're having lunch.
And if there is some wind, it can end up in your plate.
Yeah.
Right?
Is there?
If there is wind or...
Of course.
And then he ends up in your meal, in your plate.
Absolutely. That's disgusting.
Disgusting.
You know. And my fourth gripe in terms of overall Ecuador would be some of the horror stories in customs. Some people have had their belongings tied up in customs for a year. And then, of course, my all-time favorite would be the real estate scams perpetuated on unwary, uninitiated foreigners by both locals and foreigners for thousands, in some cases hundreds of thousands of dollars. And what we really need to do is have a set of guidelines, because all con men and con women are utterly charming or they couldn't be successful at it. And gringos who come in need to have a set of guidelines, 100% guaranteed to protect them from these predators. People come in with their life savings. They're coming to paradise. Then they get ripped off. And the guidelines are very simple. I'll only give you one now because I know this is a short interview, but always talk directly with the seller. Always. If you're the seller, always talk directly with the buyer. And if you are buying from a realtor, find out how much he paid for it or she paid for it before they sell it to you. There's a whole host of other guidelines as well, but those are the main ones. Rapes, police, spit, urination, real estate. One thing I should mention too about the it's feces in the street. Horses, cows, goats, an occasional human being. Feces in the street. You get to be kind of a feces aficionado. You can tell by the color brown, the shape, the size, the visually, of course, the texture, the fiber content. You can tell what animal it is. And you can see how far it's spaced. You can tell whether it's walking, trotting, or running. That's kind of nasty too, especially on the dirt roads. When the rainy season turns it into feces soup. You cannot distinguish from the mud. Other than that, I really love Vilcabamba, and I wouldn't want to be anyplace else. And of course, Ecuador is my all-time favorite country. What else could I say?
Nothing. Just nothing. What's the last thing you wanted to say?
The last thing I wanted to say was never let your realtor deliberately keep you away from other gringos, other foreigners, because they will tell you who's corrupt, who's a thief, who's a liar, and who's honest. So some of them will try to keep you away
from the information.
From foreigners. You come down to
the internet. Yeah, the internet cafe.
Internet cafe, you'll meet other foreigners. Just ask them. Tell them who you're using and ask them what they think. And that's a pretty good safeguard because they will tell you. That's it.